I started playing drums and percussion when I was in second grade. I came from a very musical family. My father played the trumpet. He was always going out to gigs and playing all the time. And I had the pleasure of just kind of following him around, and from that I became interested in it. So I started playing drums in second grade. I took some private lessons, and then I actually joined a fife and drum corps. Within there, I played the snare drum. I got to wear the knickers and the stockings and all sorts of fun outfits. But you know, it was an interesting experience. It was based out of actually Norton, Massachusetts. And I did that in second and third grade. When I was growing up, I did spend some time doing some piano and just kind of tinkering around with a lot of the other instruments, but I really fell in love with the drums and percussion and really just kind of stuck to what I did with that. When I was in high school, I really kind of struggled to fit in a little bit. I was a normal student. I did some honors classes, some regular classes. I actually played hockey, so I was involved with athletics, and I was involved with the band and my music. I didn't really have that many friends, but I also didn't really have any enemies. I was just kind of always there, and I really kind of struggled to fit in. One day I decided to go out for my high school musical, and then from there my life really just kind of changed. Also, my senior year, we did a talent show in high school, and I'll never forget, for my talent, I decided to play the drums, do some different stick tricks, and actually tap dance because I had done some dancing as I was growing up. And I know I was very afraid of doing it, and almost to the point where I almost backed down and didn't go through with it. I was just very worried about my peers and what the rest of them would think of me. When I was a senior in high school, I actually had two different lives sort of planned out. One of them, I was very heavily involved into sciences, and I was actually going to go to Mass Maritime University and major in environmental protection and safety. And then all of a sudden, like I said before, I got involved with my high school musical, and I just really got bitten by the love for the arts and decided that that's what I wanted to do with my life. For my bachelor's degree, I went to the UMass Amherst. I was able to study under some very phenomenal, awesome teachers, from Mr. George Parks with the marching band, Tom Hannum with the marching percussion section. My first 2 years, I was very involved with them. We get to go all over the place and do so many wonderful things, and I'll always treasure those years there for that. After those 2 years, I met up with a great friend, Cindy Snow, and I started to teach her students at Shepherd Hill. I was in charge of some of her percussion section, and then that really kind of got me going into my education career. Also at UMass, under Tom Hannum, Tom helped design a mallet line for Vic Firth Sticks and Mallets. And we had the pleasure of shooting a promo video for them. It was back in the day before their website had mini videos that they had put up. It was actually one of the first videos that they did. And I remember when I first started teaching, a lot of people knew me as the xylophone guy because they remembered seeing me on that video, which was really cool. And again, that was a great experience. As I look back with the friends that I made at UMass and my teachers, I definitely wouldn't trade that for the world, what I did there. I am a music teacher at Millbury Public Schools. I teach grades 7 through 12 band, general music, marching band, jazz band, percussion ensemble, all that stuff. So it is a little hard to balance that, family life, and my professional playing. I've been very lucky to get hooked up with Paul Serpine, the director of Claflin Hill. I've been playing with them for 10 years, and I always look forward to performing with them. Paul is a wonderful leader. He can be a little bit intense at times, but his dedication to his craft and what he does is phenomenal. He holds himself and everyone to the highest of standards, and every concert we put on is always very top-notch, comparable to any symphony, honestly, in the country. It's a little hidden gem in Milford that really could stand up against pretty much anyone. Probably my favorite moment with Claflin Hill is always the Winter Holiday Pops concert. Every year I've been lucky enough to play the bell solo for our version of Silent Night by the Mannheim Steamroller, orchestra, and it's always a very reflective moment. The lights dim down, and we get a chance to just think about the year that we had. And in life, I feel like a lot of times we tend to miss actual moments just because we're so busy, whether it's we're hooked onto our phone, our technology, always on to the next thing. But that moment is just a few minutes of just appreciating silence, being with each other, being in that room, and it's truly a wonderful arrangement, and it's always done incredibly well. I would invite you to come check it out next year at our Holiday Pops concert. The percussion section at Claflin is truly a special section. Sometimes we can get ourselves into trouble because we don't always have the most exciting part, so every once in a while we get a little distracted. But we certainly do have a whole lot of fun. Everybody brings something different to the table. They're just great people, wonderful musicians, and above all, we're our own little family, and we really take care of each other. We like to share responsibilities and parts, so everybody gets a chance, which really makes it more of a community and just a whole lot of fun to play with each other. We actually like each other so much that we've been playing together. We formed our own little percussion group that we do some concerts at schools and a few other things like that. And we titled it the MBD Percussion Group, which stands for My Bud's Drum, which really just sums up what we do. It's always a lot of fun to be able to get together, work on some music, and stay current with our field and repertoire. At home, I have a lovely wife and two wonderful kids. One of my probably favorite experiences with my kids is every time I get to play and they get to come see me. It really is a great moment to be able to look out into the audience and see both of my kids' reactions to some of the stuff going on, whether it's a concert, a performance, or a musical. They get to see people singing and dancing. So it's always great to see the show through their eyes from where I am. I do feel like my kids really enjoy music and the arts. My daughter is pretty involved with dance. She always talks about how she wants to be a ballet teacher someday. And my son loves to be the music man. And every time I have gear laying around the house, they always seem to find it and play it all the time. And so we have a lot of fun at home. When I was in high school, I really kind of struggled to find my place and to fit in. I feel like in a lot of ways I've sort of come full circle. In my band room at Millbury High School, I have a giant mural of a giraffe. That giraffe, his name is Gerald. He comes from a little kid's book, Giraffes Can't Dance. Happens to be my favorite book. I like to read it to my students all the time. And in this book, the character Gerald, he just struggles to fit in. He goes to the jungle dance, he doesn't know how to dance, all the other animals make fun of him. And really, he just has a hard time dealing with life, coping, and finding his way until he manages to go off and find a cricket, which teaches him to believe in himself and to not worry what other people think. In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm Gerald. I was Gerald. I feel like a lot of the students in today's schools are Gerald, where a lot of kids really struggle to fit in and find what it is that makes them them. I was lucky enough to find my cricket, and my cricket was all my music teachers growing up, whether it was my private studio teachers when I started in second grade, through my teachers in middle school, Mr. Lefebvre, my high school teacher, Mr. Glass, all the way through my college years and all the wonderful professors and teachers I had there. They really taught me to believe in myself and to just be me and not worry what the world thinks, and really it helped me to come out of my shell. And I have that mural up over my door so that every time myself and my students leave my room, we're all reminded of that story, and just to believe in yourself and be yourself and don't worry what the world thinks of you.
This is Milford TV News and Sports Director Tim Coet. Make sure you check out new editions of the Milford Informer every Friday at 7:30 p.m. or during one of our 8 convenient re-air times throughout the weekend. You can also find individual news stories as well as full archived editions on our YouTube page My Milford TV. If you live in the greater Milford area and have an idea for a news story, you can tweet at us using the handle @Milford_TV, or you can contact me directly by sending an email to news@milfordtv.net.